Today, my topic is towards and away from motivation. Now, there's lots of things been written over the years about what motivates people, and that's not my subject. My subject is how do people get motivated? Because actually, there's only two ways that a person can motivate themselves to do a specific task or activity. One is that they think about the benefits of doing it, and they're excited by those benefits, they want those benefits, and therefore they undertake the task. That's known as towards motivation, going towards a benefit. The alternative, the only other way that somebody will motivate themselves to do something, is that they think about the bad things that might happen if they don't do it. And the desire not to have those things happen is what motivates them to do the task. And that's what we call away from motivation. Now, you might already be thinking, so which am I? And the truth is that most people do a bit of both, but they don't do them simultaneously. What tends to happen is that in some circumstances, we'll use the towards motivation, and then in others, we'll use the away from style. And it depends very much on the situation in which we find ourselves. So you can predict something about how somebody will motivate themselves in a particular context if you've already observed how they've done it in that context in the past. I think there are people who tend to favour one over the other right across their whole life, but even for those people there will be exceptions. So I was teaching this little piece of information about motivation a few weeks ago, and somebody said to me, well, how do you know which somebody is doing? And the most common way that we do it is by listening to the language. So if someone is in a towards motivated frame of mind, they will tend to talk about the benefits of doing whatever it is that they're doing. So they might say something like, I really want to get this piece of work finished by Friday, because if I get it done by Friday, I can probably leave a little bit earlier and, have a flying start to my weekend. It also means that I'll start my weekend with a clear mind, so I'll enjoy my weekend more. And when I come back to work on Monday morning, then I'm straight into the next project. I think it's also possible that if I can deliver this on Friday, it'll make me look good in the eyes of the people who are waiting for it. So that's all about the benefits. Now, somebody in the opposite frame of mind, somebody in an away from frame of mind, might describe the same thing using totally different language. And it might go something like this. If I don't get this done by Friday, then it might just hang over me all weekend and distract me from the other things that I was doing. I can imagine that then if I came in Monday morning and I still had to work on that, then I would really find that very uncomfortable. And it might make me look bad with the people who are waiting for it if I didn't deliver it by Friday. So on balance, it's probably best if I don't leave it hanging around and if I don't do anything else but get this done. So you can hear the difference. There's lots of very different language going on there. But the other thing that came out of the conversation I had a couple of weeks ago is that over the years, most of us who work in organisations have been taught, been told, been encouraged to talk about the benefits when we're selling ideas or anything else, products, services, to other people. So in many ways, we've all trained ourselves to focus on the benefits rather than to focus on the bad things that will happen if we don't do a certain thing. So often you find people who actually inside their head are using an away from motivation style. I don't want to miss out on this. I don't want to fail on that. I don't want to look stupid in front of my colleagues. All that's going on inside their head. But then when they come to speak to others, it all comes out nicely packaged in terms of benefits because we've all been encouraged to do that. So sometimes you have to dig a little bit deeper to find out what's really going on inside somebody's mind. And, of course, the only way that you can do that is by having a prolonged conversation with them and perhaps asking some questions about why something's important to somebody or, what's key in that situation or what would really make the difference. Then you might find out a little bit more about the things they only usually say to themselves. So what I thought was interesting about this is that it begs the question then, are we really interested in what's going on inside somebody's head? Or are we interested in the face that they show the world? Because if you want to build a better rapport with someone by speaking their language, by getting on their wavelength, by meeting them where they are mentally, then the obvious thing to do would be to use the same kind of language as that other person is using. But if maybe you suspect there's something else going on behind the scenes, you might find that the way to really build a rapport with another person is to use a bit of both. That's something for you to experiment with this week. Have fun.